In order to respond effectively and strategically to this massive crisis, the world, we believe, needs to know why the war is happening. And so that this consultation, we will be addressing those topics, analyzing why Russia had, to attack Ukraine, why this just enormous, unbelievable aggression against the neighboring country that brings so much destruction and suffering on the people of Ukraine. And then the consequences of the war. The humanitarian crisis is just unbelievable. It's on the edge of the catastrophe when people experience so much shortage in the basic things, shelter, food, medical care, as you mentioned. And we will try to raise more awareness and mobilize the global Christian community and to continue providing so much needed support for the Ukrainian people. We also will be addressing issues of religious freedom. The Russian army and the occupation governments, as they call themselves, so they create so much pressures on all Protestant evangelicals. When a Russian army comes into all those occupied territories, the first thing they want to do, they want to destroy churches. They want to detain pastors, and deport them from the area.
And let me ask you, Sergey, real quick, speaking of churches, what is the role of the church in this crisis?
And that's another most important topic, in this conference that we will be addressing, and that's what's the role of the church in the midst of the crisis. And so the church is shining as a shining light, on top of the mountain in the midst of that destruction. And so the prominent church leaders from all different faith traditions will be reporting firsthand on how the church is doing and how church is providing not just spiritual support, emotional support, but humanitarian to the communities in Ukraine. And we will be calling on the role of the in the global church, to continue providing prayer support, humanitarian assistance, and continue supporting our brothers and sisters in Ukraine who are suffering so much because of this unprecedented war.
Sergey, do you think churches are doing enough? And if not, how can they do more?
You mean the churches in Ukraine? They're doing more than probably they can. I think the global church can do a lot more. And we see how the resources, are getting smaller, and less available for Ukrainian church. And we want to call on the global church to continue providing more support, more help, for the church in Ukraine that needed so much, and they are helping in return into their suffering communities.